going, guys? So I am making this video because I want to make sure that I don't leave anything out, and I also want you to be able to access this video for questions. Okay, so normally I would just teach this in class, but I'm going to do this with a video that you can access, like I said, when you need to. So we're on part 3, okay, FP Activity 3, data analysis. And what you're going to do now is there's 2 sections of this. One is the independent variables, and the one variable analysis, and one is the 2 variable analysis. Okay, so this is a bit confusing, but let's go over this. You're going to have 3 pages here. You have independent variable, you have your dependent variable. That's what we're going to do today. We'll do both of those today. It's not that difficult. Once you do one, the other one is easy. Okay, you do the same thing. And then tomorrow, what I want you to do is compare the 2 with the 2 variable data. So the 2 variable data is the scatter plot, all this stuff here, LOB regression. We haven't done any of that. That's tomorrow's lesson. I'll go over that in class tomorrow, but today we're going to go over what to do for both of this, the independent 1 variable data and the dependent 1 variable data. So you're going to have some data. You got that in part 2. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go over here to the independent. So at the bottom here, you're going to go to the independent data tab, and then you're going to go over and you're going to cut the data that you had. So go to it, and what you do is on the other sheet that you're on, you can just take this whole thing, click in the top corner here if you want to highlight everything. Control C, Control, and then go over to where you want to go, and then click here, and then hit Control V, and it'll pop in. Okay, so you'll have all your data down there. So this is my data. It's made up, okay? And I call this the independent column and the dependent column. You're going to do this twice. So the first, we're going to analyze the independent data on its own. Then so that's going to be in this tab here, the independent data tab, okay? And then you're going to cut and paste this exact same thing, both columns of data, and you're going to put it here in the dependent tab, and you're going to analyze the dependent data, okay? So for the independent data, what you're going to do and what you're asked to do is to find the mean, the median, and the mode. So that's the first thing you want to do. So what you do is you will go down here and you'll type in the word mean. Okay. You might have data here in this column. So some of you have like automatically you have data in here because you have names of things like the people or the teams or the countries. If you don't, what you can do is just right click here and put insert 1 column to the left, and then you'll have a column that you can put the mean, median, mode, and type that in there. Okay, that's that. Or you can just cut and paste it a little bit further over. Another thing is if your data is a little wonky, so if some of your data is not consistent, and this happens, I've noticed a few times. So look at this column here. See how that's not the same? What you can do if you want to format everything is you click on the whole column. So I clicked on the letter here, it gets the whole column here. And then you go to format just above, and you can choose how many decimals you want. So you can go here and you can say, I want 3 decimals, 2, or whatever it is, and you can move it up like this. And those decimals don't disappear, they just don't show up. Okay, and there's all these different types of formatting you can do. If you don't like that, you can mess around with it for a bit. The other thing is, see how everything just moved to the left? That happens sometimes. So what you do is you go over here, and you'll align it the way you want to align it, to the right, to the middle, and to the left. It's up to you how you want to do it. One thing that you'll notice is, if this matters to you, you don't have to do anything here, but this has always kind of been bizarre to me, is on sheets, the words align left, and then the numbers align right. So if you don't like that, and you want everything to align the same, you can move the whole thing to the right, or to the left, or whatever you want. If your columns are too big or too small, you can just pull them like this, make them bigger or smaller. Okay, but I think we're okay. So now we're going to analyze this. We're going to find the mean, we're going to find the median, and we're going to find the mode. And it's really easy. All you do is you go and you hit equals. And equals means do some stuff for me, Google Sheets. And it's already smart. So I don't know, I didn't even know it was going to do this, but it says, do you want me to find the average of B2 to B12, 11? And I went, sure, why not? But let's say it didn't do that. What you're going to start typing in is what you want it to find. So it says median, but you don't want that. You want the mean in this case. And mean doesn't show up. So that's fun. So what we're going to do instead is find the average. Okay, so you're going to go average. So you type the average here, and then it automatically gave you that area here. But let's say it didn't. what you could do, and I'll do it in the next one, is put that in yourself. So it gave me the mean, and it gave me the mean to 1 decimal. Again, you want to change that to 2 decimals, no decimals, up to you. Okay, the median. So it's asking me to fill stuff in here, and I don't like what it did there. So I'm glad I did that, but that was wrong. So forget the autofill. I want the median in this column, in this cell. So I'm going to type in median, and I start typing. And notice down here it says median. I'll click on it. And now in this case, it wasn't smart. It didn't automatically guess what I wanted. Okay, probably because I have that number here, but regardless, it didn't tell me. So what you can do is you can just go here and then just pull. So I held down my mouse and I pulled down all the way down to here, and then I hit enter. Okay, I hit enter here, and it'll give me the median here. So the median between here and there. If you didn't like that, I'll show you what you do with mode. You can just start type. So for the mode, okay, so be careful. It's not mod, it's mode here. And what you're gonna do here is, if you don't do what I just did, what you can do is you can say, it automatically gives you that open bracket. You can type in, give me the mode from here. So that's B2. So you can either click on that, or you can type in B2, and then you can type in comma. I think it's comma. Let's find out. B11. No, it's not comma. It's colon. Wait, hold on. Oh, I just did comma or colon. What? Ooh. Okay, that's all wrong. So let's. Okay, so if you make a mistake, like I did on purpose, obviously, you can delete it by just going backwards. Okay, so let's try that again. I want the mode, and I want the mode of this whole area here, from here to here. So you can go from B11 to B2, but let's start with B2. So you go B2. I'm just typing colon B11. Okay, and then you can close that bracket or hit enter. It's pretty smart otherwise. So the mode is 44. Okay, so there's your mean, your median, your mode. You don't do anything with that in this section. You do that later on in part 4 and part 5. So we're just finding these right now. So the next thing you want to find is the variance, the standard deviation, and the range, and you do the exact same thing. Okay, you're going to go here and you're going to type in variance. Okay, and then over here you're going to go variance, and same thing. You get the variance of this data here, and hit enter. And again, see all those decimals. Maybe I don't want that. So what I would do here, maybe later on. So let's say I have a bunch of stuff. So standard deviation is going to be standard deviation. You'll do that here, and then standard deviation is, no, hold on. No, okay, so STV, I think it is. So yeah, okay, so there's standard deviation right there, STDEV. So you're gonna hit that, and then again you can type in. So I'm gonna do it this way this time. B2 colon. I don't know why you do this, but let's say you did it like that, and it didn't like that at all. So don't do that. Okay. So standard deviation didn't like that. So you can either type it in, or you can drag it over. Okay. And then you're gonna find the range also. So range. And if you go, well, my teacher's a bit of a dummy. Well, maybe, but this stuff kind of changes all the time. So here, my range. I don't see it. You see it? I don't see it. So how do you find the range? It's the highest to the lowest. So it's the difference between the two. So in this case, it's 99 and 22. So in this case here, I can just either do that on a calculator, or I can type it in here if I'm a nerd and hit enter, and it tells me that the range is 77. Okay, so range you might have to do on your own. I'm sure it's there somewhere as an operation, but if you can't find it, just find it on your own. But mean, median, mode, variance, so we call it variance VAR. Standard deviation is STDEV, and range is that. Okay, so we found all that stuff, and that's great. I forgot to create the histogram. So I'm going to go back and create that histogram. So the histogram, you take this data here. You'll have a title for yours that you know, maybe goals or population or whatever. So that goes there. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to run through this real quick. And you go to insert and then chart, and it might default to scatter plot. So you go over here where it says scatter plot, and you change that over here. If you can't find it doesn't say recommended. You'll find it. It's just down here. What you want to do is find a column chart or a histogram. Nope, I don't want that. Hold on. I want histogram. Which one's histogram? histogram. So you're going to go down to histogram, okay? And the histogram, the reason I did histogram is the histogram is going to do the bins, as we call them, or the width of the columns automatically. So from 20 to 36 all the way through. Okay, so there's your histogram. You can play around with that. You can change the color under customize and all that, but you don't have to. Okay, so that's that. It's in the way. So to move it, you just grab it and you move it. My mouse isn't working here. So hold on. So get off that chart editor, and then you're going to go. I don't know. How do you do this? There, you move it. Okay, so that's that. Now I want to rush through this, get to make a box and whisker. Now box and whisker takes a lot of work, so it kind of stinks. So what I want you to do is I'm going to leave all this here, by the way. I'm going to leave all, you're going to have this page. I've decided I'm going to leave this page down here as example independent data. That's mine. So you can always go back to this. And what you're going to do for a box and whisker is you need the minimum, the Q1 data. You want the Q3 data. I know we usually have the median next, right? But we're not going to bother with that. Then we're going to have the max. And to find all this stuff, what you're going to do is, again, just start typing in min and the min of this and hit enter, and it'll find the minimum data for you. This one's a little, and I'll do the max next, okay? Because the max is easy. And the other two are a little bit different. So I'm rushing a bit because this video is getting a little bit long. And I want to keep it under there. Anyway, so here's the quartile. So this is Q3. And what you do is you say quartile, and you go ahead and you do this. But now watch what I have to do. Then I hit comma, and then I hit 1, and then I hit enter. Okay, that gives me the first quartile. Here, I do the exact, I start with the same thing, but I want the third quartile. I hit quartile there. And then I go ahead and I cover all this again, and now I hit comma, and now, oh, okay, I don't know why I did that. Okay, so if I'm up here, I hit comma, and I want the third quartile, then I hit enter. Now it's giving me all that data, okay? First quartile, minimum, all that stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. And now I'm going to try to make a box and whisker plot. There's a really good chance this does not work right now for me. Okay, but let's give it a shot because that's fun. Insert. Chart. And this is what ends up happening. You get a column chart. I don't want that, okay? So automatically, you're going to scroll down here. It gives you a column chart. You're going to move down to the thing that looks like box and whisker, which is called candlestick. And in this case, it looks pretty good to me, okay? So hopefully this works for you. I've had it not work for me so many different times. It's been crazy, okay? So what we have is the minimum. So I wouldn't mind actually moving this for a second if I could. Could you move for me? Chart. You're not going to move. Let's see if I can move this. My mouse isn't working. Let's see if I can get this guy to move. That's me trying to find which mouse is my mouse. Okay, good. Okay, so you had a minimum of 22, and then if you hold it over there, it shows you all the data. Minimum, max, Q1, Q2, Q3. Okay, so hopefully that works. If not, what you want to do is you want to make sure that the low is here. So the low, if it doesn't work automatically, you might have to click on this and then go over here and type and then click on that. Okay, and then also hopefully it works. If it doesn't, get back to me. This one worked automatically. I think if you don't mess around with stuff like I have, it'll work. Okay. So the one other thing though is, let's say my range of data was all over the place and I don't like this like this. The one thing you can do is you click on customize. No, where is this? Customize, yes. Horizontal axis. No, vertical axis. Yeah. So let's say I don't like this going all the way down to 0 here. What you can do is, if you want to start at the minimum even, it's up to you, but let's say I want to start at the minimum, I could type in 22 as right there, or whatever my minimum was, okay? It doesn't go exactly down there, it went down to 20, but you can go ahead and you can mess around with that. Now, you do not want to go too low, because watch what happens here. If I go too low, some of my data can actually disappear. So if I go here to 50, see how my data disappeared? And if you don't like that, then you do that, but just don't do that. Don't make that mistake, okay? So if you want to go to 20, go with 20 here. And there's your box and whisker plot, okay? So that's your box and whisker. Hopefully it works. If not, send me an email. They are a big pain, I got to admit, okay? And you can mess around, change the name and all that. So you're going to do this for independent. You do the same thing on the next page for dependent, so for column C. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to leave this page up here. so you're able to access it when you need to. All right, take care.